2008 Centurion Enzo SV220. SV220 comes in at 22 feet. This one is in a blue and white color scheme with orange metal flake accent on it. The boat is in really, really nice condition, inside and out, which we'll see. It's got 463 hours on it and has been very well taken care of. Sits on a tandem axle trailer. It's a boat mate that is color matched with blue. It's got white pinstripes on it. Trailer's in great shape. Wheels and tires look nice. To go around the exterior of this boat, we'll point out a couple just little cosmetic things, but again, overall, this boat looks really, really nice. No significant damage or anything like that. Just a little bit of small blemishes to point out. It does have a 4-point mounted tower, bimini top. It's got Roswell tower speakers, the outer speakers on each of those pairs on either side aimed down. And it also has a pair of rotating board racks on the tower as well. If you noticed here, we do have the snaps. It does have a really nice black snap-on mooring cover to go along with it. Let's go ahead and walk around, point out any cosmetic blemishes on the boat. First off, you're gonna see a couple light scratches on the rear corner here. The graphics are in good shape on both sides. Just kind of a drip mold graphic, Centurion graphic. Couple really light scratches here below the gas cap area on the boat. Just below there you can see just super light little marks there. Nothing major. We've buffed on this thing and everything's looking super shiny. Towards the front, got a couple little marks here just below the rub rail. There is a small chip above the rub rail up in the bow. That's pretty much going to cover it on that port side. You do have a rotating nav light up front. Let's go down the starboard side. There's a little bit of dock rub up front here. They aren't into the gel coat, but just a little bit on the top surface there. You can barely see it on video. But we've got that and a little bit of it on the metal flake above your IN letters on here. Coming down, rest of the boat's looking pretty sharp. Does have these Centurion logo vents on the sides and also has pop-up gates. A couple light scratches here and here. It's all super minor. Barely even showing up on the video, but it is there. And then similar to what we saw on the other side, just a couple light scratches. I can barely feel these with my hand. Not saying that they might not wet sand out of the boat, but they're pretty light. There's a chance that they do. A little bit of rub back here in the corner. But nothing major. None of this stuff you even really see if you step back a couple feet. So overall, the boat looks really nice. Let's hop inside, go through the interior. Oh, lastly, you might have noticed this is tape. We dropped the gas cap. So I put tape over it for now. This boat's not going out the door without a fresh gas cap on that side. On the transom, real fast, the platform does have a rub rail around it, which is nice, keeps it from getting scratched up, but there is a little bit of fade to it. It's a 2008. You're gonna see that generally on the exposed parts of the boat. It has this rubber traction pad on the back. It's just wet from when we cleaned it, but you know, there's some little cracks and things in there just from it being old and shrinking a little bit. But overall, it looks pretty good. Not very offensive by any means to where I feel like it needs to come off. There is a dual exhaust and a center trim plate here on the back. Rudder, prop, all in good shape. All's clean on this thing. So yeah, let's hop inside. Jump up here real quick. On the transom, you do have these steps on either side of your grab handle. They are like chrome, and oftentimes on chrome bits you see a little bit of this like peeling or whatever you want to call it, where the finish just starts to go bad on them. So those steps, you know, they could look better, but it is what it is at this point. Not much you can do to rehab those. What we have done, as we look into the interior, is we've replaced a handful of the seats in here, and it looks really, really nice. Color combo, we've got like a darker gray, like a charcoal gray on the seat base, with a lighter gray on the seat boxing and the accent pieces. Back here on the sun pad, you're gonna see, obviously we have orange piping, and then this nice textured vinyl on the back seat. You have that on the love seat up there, and a couple other spots. Not a lot of that through the interior, but this is a brand new skin on the engine hatch. And then we went ahead and did 1, 2, 3, 4 of those main seat bases, kind of just those high traffic areas. They're starting to split, so we put fresh skins on those, and those look really nice. Everything else in the boat, you know, oftentimes when you replace interior, it really sticks out, but I mean, you can tell, but everything actually looks pretty uniform and matches really nicely in this. So happy with how that turned out. And we got a fresh looking interior in this Centurion, so good stuff. Let's open up our storage compartments. You do have this kind of walkthrough on the starboard side. So when you open the hatch, you can step on this, and then that opens up down into some storage. There's actually a lot of storage space in this boat. It's got the stock ballast system, so you're just gonna have hard tanks. I don't know the total weight on these, frankly, but it's not a ton, but enough to get out there and wakeboard, try a little bit of surfing if you'd like. Underneath here, we got our Scorpion 5.7 liter engine, freshly serviced, fresh fluids, filters, and impeller, good to go. This boat we've always serviced since we sold it 2 years ago, and we recently took it back in on trade. So that's that Scorpion engine, and again, has 463 hours on it. Other side here opens up. There's not like a plate like you have on the other side, but it's wide open storage down there. Our back seat, if you open that up, that's access down into your drain plug. This actually needs to be mounted back up. It's not screwed in, but usually this would just kind of flip and rotate up like that with that hinge. Get that put back together for us here. You do have a step pad that lines up with that walkthrough in the back, so that's right there in the corner. That seat just drops in. You have a small, if I pull that apart, you do have a small split between the seat there, but if you let that back together, it's super small, nothing crazy. It does have snap-in carpet in gray. It's in good shape. Other seat, you have another step pad. Open up, there's a small storage hatch to get down into there, but the best way to get underneath there would be through the love seat here, and you can stuff stuff down underneath. There's our covers, there's 2 of them, cockpit and bow cover. Got a fresh battery in there. It does have a single battery with the single switch. The dash, we have a depth gauge, a multi-info, whatever you want to call it, gauge on the left, so that has your engine temp, oil pressure. It has an hour meter on it, but this was replaced when we traded the boat in a couple years ago. This gauge did not work, so we put a new one in, and the hour meter was reset on this gauge. The hours are stored in here, which on our listing, there's a picture of that 463 hour mark. And then our center one here is gonna have fuel, voltage, all that good stuff. You have a switch over here for bilge, horn, blower, your center trim tab. Stereo, you've got courtesy lights, nav light, trim tab indicator, and then for your ballast system, you just have the 2 tanks in the back, so fill and drain there, super simple. Tower lights, which I don't believe, no, has tower lights on the speakers, and then a depth gauge over here. I don't know if I mentioned that. Got a mirror up on the tower. Nice steering wheel. Driver's seat looks to be in really good shape. You do have this bolster here. Kind of a netted seat back on there. Before I run up to the front, this whole seat back here is original. It's in pretty good shape. Just maybe if you get really close on it, you can just see a little bit of like just discoloration down in the grain of the vinyl, but no damage or anything like that. It's just, I don't know, something I wanted to point out. In your inlays, you got the Skylon speakers. There are 6 of those, so 4 in the main area, 2 up in the bow. If we come up to the bow, you do have the drop-in, or not drop-in, but hard cooler with the drain down into the bilge in the step there. Storage up underneath the seats in the bow. Grab handles, couple cup holders, snap-in carpet up there as well. So yeah, all the seats up here look really nice. Definitely probably don't get as much traffic up front as you would in the back, but let me just open one of these sides here. It does have an air dam, slides into these little tracks here, keeps the wind from coming through, keeps you warm. But yeah, nice open bow, plenty of space up front. And then real quick, if we jump in here, you're gonna notice it has a Clarion stereo. This Sony remote does not work. There's really nothing that goes into that spot there, so we left it just for, there's not a hole in the middle of your dash. But the reason that doesn't work is because you can't get these Sony head units that match with those remotes anymore. We went with a Clarion on this. It's gonna have Bluetooth, Pandora, it's Sirius ready. Yeah, I mean, most people are going to be using Bluetooth. Obviously, it's going to have a radio, but much nicer head unit than what it would have gone with the boat originally. So, disclaimer, that stereo remote does not work. You need to go into the glove box to adjust stereo, although if you're Bluetoothing, you can do your volume on your phone. So that makes it not as big of a pain in the butt. So yeah, that's pretty much it on the Centurion. Boat's in great shape. I think I pointed out everything cosmetically. If you have any questions, give us a call at N3 Boatworks. You can reach us at 317-845-9253 or visit us at n3boatworks.com. Thanks a lot for watching.